Xbox saw some big numbers in their quarterly report. The Xbox revenue has absolutely skyrocketed. A lot of this is helped because of the Activision Blizzard acquisition. And there are haters online. Saying, well, if you remove that, look how terrible Xbox is actually, because then they're not doing as well. It's like, well, guess what, guys? You can't remove it. It's all part of Xbox now. That's it. Whether you want to accept it or not, that's up to you, but it's all part of Xbox, and Xbox revenue has absolutely skyrocketed. Let's go over this story today. Then I just want to talk about, is this sustainable? What does this mean as far as the competition, the console wars, the console competition? Does it mean anything there? Maybe it doesn't at all. What does the future here look like? Overall, to sum things up, it looks good for Xbox. I think that's pretty much undeniable, and why some of the critique out there is a little bit ridiculous. Just a little bit ridiculous. Here's the headline. This is over windowscentral.com. Xbox fiscal year 24 Q3 gaming revenue up 51% year over year thanks to the Activision Blizzard acquisition. 51% is giant. Giant, everybody. The latest gaming earnings are in with details that again factor in the biggest acquisition the gaming industry has ever seen. Microsoft shared its financial results for fiscal year 24 Q3 on Thursday, giving an overview of the company's money-making business across numerous sectors. For Xbox, gaming revenue was up 51% year over year, a monumental increase that is due to the addition of Activision Blizzard compared to the same period a year ago. Xbox content and services revenue is up 62% year over year, while hardware revenue declined by 31%. So let's talk about hardware revenue declining by 31%. Everything else is up. Software is up. Games is up. Hardware revenue is down. That is because of the Xbox Series X. Now, there's a lot of Xbox fans and Xbox people on social media saying, look, this is ridiculous. Of course this is going to happen. What do you think happens to hardware when you tell people these games are going to be everywhere? Once again, I would just like to repeat, Xbox is all about Game Pass. I do think hardware will always exist. Hardware is not going anywhere for Xbox. But when you look at the numbers compared to what they're doing on software, it's not even close. PlayStation is seeing those same things and is going to be making adjustments accordingly. If you don't think that's coming, if you don't think that's going to happen, pin this video and come back to it in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years. It's right. It's correct. It's the way forward. Go watch their earnings call. Go watch what the CEO of Sony is saying. They're saying the same thing, but for whatever reason, Xbox takes the heat. Xbox takes the bad news. Overall, Xbox with Activision Blizzard is absolutely crushing it. Microsoft saw $61 billion in revenue for the quarter, beating expectations. That's huge. Ooh, I mean, those numbers are almost inconceivable. So let's see what the CEO, this is over at purexbox.com from Ben Carey, Microsoft CEO comments on Xbox's new PlayStation Store success. As part of the recent earnings call, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella made some interesting comments about Xbox's new releases on PlayStation. In short, the Xbox owner is seeing great results on the PlayStation Store as things stand, and Nadella, unsurprisingly, seems quite happy about that. Quote, "We're expanding our games to new platforms, bringing 4 of our fan favorite to Nintendo Switch and Sony PlayStation for the first time. In fact, earlier this month, we had 7 games among the top 25 on the PlayStation Store, more than any other publisher." That, of course, he's talking about the Fallout games, largely due to the Fallout show and the success that the Fallout show is having. Everyone, I tweeted this out the other day. In fact, should we go to my tweet? Let's not go to my tweet. Who am I? What am I, some famous guy? I tweeted out, there's a shift happening in gaming, and a lot of people seem unwilling and unhappy about the changes. People just can't handle change. And that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing with software. Software always has been the moneymaker. Always. All along. Hardware, the way that the console model works is hardware you take a loss on. It takes you a long time before a long-term, look on making money back on consoles. You invest in it. You make all your money on the software. That's it. That's the reality. And we're seeing some shift in the gaming industry. We're seeing some shift in console gaming. I don't think consoles are going away. That's not what this is saying. This success with software doesn't mean that hardware is going away at all. Hardware is staying. Hardware is here to stay. Hardware, I think, is going to be big here coming up. I do think the Series X and Series S is kind of in no man's land, but I think the same with the PlayStation 5 in that we've not really seen anything really worth purchasing any of those consoles for, like a game that really drives those sales. I think if anything that has driven the sales of the new gen consoles, these next generation consoles, has been mostly to people who already had and are just upgrading. I don't think that there's powerhouse games out there, and I think that that's largely been underdelivered and underwhelming in that point. I think it's a reshaping, a realignment of how the model's going to work. When you look at the Series S, you look at the Series X, what else is coming down the pike, these different price points, these different entry points to price, especially with the next generation. We now know that Xbox for the next generation is already working on it and is saying that this is going to be the largest technological leap ever. What does that mean? I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see what that means. PlayStation 5, no doubt, is doing the same thing, or trying to do the same thing going forward. Nintendo Switch, we're starting to hear rumors on what the Nintendo Switch is doing. So we're at this, right now is a transitionary time. Right now, we're getting set up for the next 3 to 5 years. That's just the reality of where we're at. This success from Xbox is absolutely huge, of course. I wrote down some questions here. First on this 51% revenue increase. Is this sustainable? Do you think it's sustainable, or is it just a temporary spike from Activision Blizzard? I do think it's sustainable. I think Xbox is going to leverage the popularity of Activision Blizzard franchises. I think with what we're seeing with Fallout, with Bethesda, we're talking about Activision Blizzard. We're not even talking about Bethesda yet. Bethesda is this whole other thing where I did videos last week. I think Fallout may be the new marquee title for Xbox. Maybe the, Vault Boy may be the new logo, the guy that appears everywhere when Xbox drops items, when Xbox drops its next-gen hardware. It's going to be very interesting. So I do think they will leverage the popularity of Activision Blizzard titles. I think they're going to leverage the popularity of Bethesda. I think they're going to continue to expand those content libraries. And I think over time, that revenue is going to continue to increase. And so I think this is sustainable. Absolutely. I think if you think it's not sustainable, it's a temporary spike, I think that's crazy talk. We're just at the beginning of this, and I think 100% it's sustainable for sure. So now, how does this revenue boost by Xbox, by Microsoft, impact the balance of power here? Because PlayStation has won the hardware game 100%. No one is even questioning that. And some haters out there will say, well, that's why Xbox is leaving. They're abandoning the battle. No. Everything is changing. PlayStation's going to change too, guys. You watch. I think the revenue boost gives Xbox more resources. Not that they needed more resources, but more resources to compete with PlayStation in the hardware game as well. I think that this strong financial position that Xbox is in, and Xbox is talking about here in their Q3 2024, you can use that to invest in exclusive content. I mean, they've already invested in exclusive content with these purchases. I think you're going to use it. They're going to use it to invest in marketing. I think you're going to use it to put back into consoles. And you're going to start to see Xbox really competing for dominance in the console space, but more largely in the gaming space as a whole. That includes mobile and that includes PC. It's not just going to be console that they attempt to dominate here. It's going to be gaming as a whole. There's this bigger picture by Xbox. They want to own the gaming space, and that's this shift that we're seeing here. So I absolutely think that this means that Xbox is going to be even more competitive going forward. I think we're already seeing it. Xbox, it feels like Xbox did during the OG Xbox era, leading into Xbox 360, and Xbox 360 really hit their stride and became a household name. We're right before that. We're about to jump into that era again. You can feel it. You can feel it in the air. Look at these moves that are being made. It's very exciting. What other factors besides this can contribute to the growth? I think Game Pass. I don't think it's just Activision Blizzard. I think the majority of it, obviously, if you look at the numbers, Activision Blizzard obviously gave that boost. But going forward, where is this boost going to come from? I think it's going to come from Game Pass. There's no doubt. There's no question in my mind. I think cross-platform expansion is going to be a huge deal for them when you look at games like Sea of Thieves. But when you look at almost every game, in fact, I more and more have been playing Xbox games and downloading them from the Xbox app, especially Game Pass games. Mandalords just dropped on Game Pass. That's huge on Game Pass Ultimate. So I'm downloaded that from the PC. I'm playing it on the PC. I'm getting my Xbox achievements that way. It's a great service. I love it. I'm never unsubscribing from that service in its current, if it maintains this current state of value. And so I think Game Pass going forward is going to be absolutely giant. Absolutely giant. And I think that's going to be, along with this cross-platform thing, I think it just works. It's a way to introduce other players to, hey, yeah, you love this game. Guess what? You could have got it. You could have got it for way cheaper than you bought it for because it's on Game Pass. So there's my thoughts. There's two types of people out there on social media. The straight up haters of Xbox, and they just have a team, and then the old team members of Xbox. And by that, I mean like these content creators who were all in on Xbox and now, oh my goodness, the hardware is declining. They're moving away from hardware. Guys, they're not moving away from hardware. They're not. That hardware is going to be, how many times do they have to say it? That 31% decline is terrible. Oh yeah, well, did you look at the 51% number? Because that's huge, and that's where you make more money. That's where all the money is made in consoles and in gaming. But nobody, it's the internet. Nobody has nuance or those types of discussions. We'd love to know what you guys think. Am I right? Am I wrong? What do you think of this whole thing? Do you think Xbox is set to compete at a stronger level going forward? Do you think they're set to dominate? I think we're at the beginning of the Xbox domination generation. I've said it before. I will say it again. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel. I'm X1 the Gamer. We do videos like this all the time right here. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you later.